Morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about the movie Sound of Freedom. If you have not heard what that is, it's basically a true story of, based off a man named Tim Ballard who helps children. He helps save children from sex trafficking. I will admit right now that I myself have not seen it quite yet, but I want to help make people aware of the message because the message is way too important to ignore and to it people need to know the truth. The reason why I have not gone and seen it yet is because I admit I've been hesitant. And the reason why I have been hesitant is because, well, if you've watched my videos, you know my story, what happened to me when I was a child. I was not trafficked, but needless to say, I do have an understanding of what those children feel. I'll just put it that way. And that's okay. I'll just say it. I was. I can't believe I have to say it like this because of YouTube. I was raped when I was a child, and it just really pains me that stuff goes that happens. That happens to men. That happens to women, and especially worse off happens to children. And I mean, having been done one time is enough to damage you for life, but I cannot. But going through that on a daily basis, I just can't imagine how awful that is. I mean, again, because yeah. I mean, all those people who are in human trafficking, they suffer on a daily basis. They go through it every single day, and they can't get out. They can't get themselves out. There's no way they can help themselves get. They can't unless we help. Unless someone helps them. Unless we help them, they can't escape. And listen, the one thing that I believe that God is using people like Tim Ballard, Chuck Avigil, and others to tell us the truth. I mean, there's been people that's trying to tell us the truth of what's been going on with that for years. It's just now it's coming more to light, so to speak. And what I've noticed when it comes to God, before he takes care of things himself, this is what he does. He reveals the darkness to us first because he's basically telling us, you better do something about this. Because the truth. Because a lot of people may ask, well, why does God allow this or allow that to happen? Well, a lot of times when he reveals what's going on to us and we don't do a thing to stop it, then he has to take care of it. Because the truth is, he gives us responsibility too. The responsibility is not all on him. He gives us responsibility to handle things and take care of things like that because he knows that we can. And if we fail to do that, then he's going to have to take care of it. And in the end, if we do absolutely nothing, we would get punished also because we chose not to do anything. So what's happening is that he is revealing what's going on because he's telling us, you better do something about this. You go help those children. Do what you gotta do to save those children. You have to do something. And if you don't, I will. I mean, God is on the move. He is on the move. And the thing is, he's already using people to save those children already. In which, again, Tim Ballard and his team in Operation Underground Railroad are doing. But more of us need to be doing something. They can't, listen, whether you are a religious person or not, any person who holds onto morality understands that children are very important and every one of them needs protection. Every one of them needs help. And listen, I think we can put, whether atheist, a homosexual, or Muslim, whatever. I think we can put our different, we can, lay down. We can basically work together here. We can, debate with each other, argue with each other on this and that and other, another day, but we have got to work together to save the children. This is important. Because listen, it's not going to get any better if we don't do anything. It's not. It's just, listen, when, I believe I said this before, when we ignore a problem, it does not make it go away. It only encourages it to get stronger and to get worse. And it has. Because there's been people who have tried to tell the whole public about what's going on with the trafficking for years, and most people did not want to listen to it. They want to call them conspiracy theorists. In fact, not surprisingly, CNN, even though they admitted that The Sound of Freedom does tell the truth about sex trafficking, they admitted to it, that there's truth, that they're speaking, that Tim Ballard to them, they're speaking the truth. They still try to say, but QAnon, but conspiracy theory. Listen, CNN, you no longer have a silver tongue. Many people don't listen. A lot of people, most people in America know that you're full of crap. And you can try to sprinkle, all the horse manure with sprinkles all you want, but at the end of the day, it's still horse manure. And anytime we listen to you, we're expecting horse manure to come out of your mouth. You keep trying to speak with tongues of lead. We're not listening. But anyway, now they're trying to say that them and other, leftist news are trying to say QAnon, conspiracy theory. We're not listening to that. I mean, don't you guys understand by now that many Americans are not listening to you anymore? Give up. We're not listening to you. We know that you guys are full of crap. We know that you work for the devil. We know that you work for the devil. You certainly do not work for Jehovah. You don't work for Jesus. You don't work for the Holy Spirit. You work for the devil. We know it. If you are a person though that wants to see the Sound of Freedom and you're hesitant like me, because listen, for people like me who have been hurt like that as kids, or worse, if you were someone that was trafficked, it's totally understandable if you're hesitant to see it. And listen, and don't feel any shame in that. And I'm quite sure that Tim Ballard and Joe Cafegia would also be very understanding of this. But what we can do, though, if we feel that we cannot really stomach to see the movie, what we can do is either donate money to pay for tickets and other people could go see it that can't pay to see it, or you can go to Operation Underground Railroad website and you can choose to to either donate money to them, or you could even be a volunteer. You can choose to be a speaker to talk about, what's going on with the trafficking and stuff. You can do that. You can volunteer if you want. So, but either way, let's do something to support the message, to do something to stop that horrific thing that's happening to children. And listen, what I do not want to happen, what I do not want with the message behind Sound of Freedom, is it to be just a hype and then it dies away. Meaning, I don't want people to just talk about it now while the movie's in theaters and stuff, and then just let it die down and not say nothing about it, about sex trafficking, anything anymore. Let's not do that. Let's not, do the hype and then move on to the next thing. Let's not do that. We cannot be in the moment kind of thing, or we cannot, how the saying goes, I can't think of it right now, but basically, it basically has something. Never mind. But basically, what I'm saying is, even when people stop talking about the movie and stuff, keep talking about the message and the importance of saving children from sex trafficking. Put up hashtag Save for Children. Talk about Operation Underground Railroad. Share videos about it constantly on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Keep talking about it. Do something. And we also need to do actual, real, peaceful protests. Not the peaceful protests according to leftist definition, but actually real, honest, peaceful protests. Awareness does go a long way, but it's kind of like faith without works. If you do nothing about it after spreading awareness, then just spreading awareness is no good. If you don't take action to do something, then we can spread awareness all we want. If no one decides to step up and say, I'm going to do something to help stop this, again, it's like faith without works. It just dies. So let's not just spread the message and then do nothing from there. We've got to do more than that. And listen, almost every single one of us, me included, has failed those kids. The signs of the trafficking stuff and sexualized children, they were there for many years, a long time ago. And I have constantly thought about this. We've even seen messages and signals of it in movies like American Pie 1, Hangover 2, and others, where they have sexualized children in those movies. Where were we then? Where was I? Where was you? For all of us that have seen that movie and just did this, where were we? We should have been protesting back then. We should have said, that's way too far. That's disgusting. You're involving a child. No. But many people chose to either laugh at it or chose to ignore it, because in the back of our minds, we want to think, well, surely it's not going to get any worse from there. Yeah, it's supposed to be a joke, but hopefully, they're not intending anything really bad by it, right? Hopefully, they're not going to go do any worse than that. No. Let's take off the blinders. Let's stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt anymore. We should have been protesting against Hollywood and others sexualizing children a long time ago. Because listen, they've been doing it for a long time. Even in their own movies, you see, different scenes of them doing it. I just gave you 2 examples. Again, there's one in American Pie 1 where they have where they have a Stifler's younger brother watching a woman naked mess with herself. And in Hangover 2, one of the actors was moving the baby's hand like it was playing with itself. That's disgusting. It's sexualizing of children, and we should have never allowed that to happen. We should have been in an uproar when we saw that and said, no, this is wrong. This is gross. We don't need to involve children in this stuff. We should have been protesting against this stuff a very long time ago. And because we just sat there and chose to do nothing, more children have been more children have been harmed. More children have been harmed because we chose to do nothing. And don't give me, well, better late than never. Don't give me that. We should have been doing this a long time ago. Don't give me the whole better late than never. No. The best time is now. The best time was when you knew it was going on and take care of it at that very moment. Better late than never. Not in this case. Not in this case. The best time was when we knew something was going on and should have started taking care of it then. Children are way too important. And let's not once again sit and do nothing and just be silent and just hope that things will get better. No. It's only going to encourage the problem to get worse. It's only going to encourage it to get worse and to get more spread. It's like a disease. It's just going to keep going. Unless we put a stop to it. So again, talking about the movie Sound of Freedom, talking about sex, spreading message is not enough. It's not enough. We have to take steps farther than that, peacefully. Peacefully, we have to take steps farther than that. We have to go to trusted politicians and demand them to put in policies to put a stop to sex trafficking and exploiting of children and things. DeSantis and others are already starting to do, a great stuff for that. But we need all 50 states to do that. We need all 50 states to do something to fight against sex trafficking. To put in programs for police officers to help fight that, or make teams, that are specifically for saving children from that. We've got to do more. Just speaking about it is not enough. And also with CNN and leftists, trying to downplay, the message of the movie Sound of Freedom, and them speaking against it, say it's QAnon, that further proves to me that they're all about perversion. We all know they're not for protecting kids. They're not. They claim that they are, but they're not. Because, listen, if they truthfully were, they would have been at the forefront. They would have been fighting against, that thing. They would be fighting against sex trafficking, right now. Because they know what's happening. They know what's going on. They've known it, they would be fighting. They'd be supporting the message of Sound of Freedom. They'd be cheering, yes, finally, somebody's, speaking the truth of what's going on. But no, they're not doing that. They're going completely against it. And that should tell everybody. That should tell everybody where they truthfully stand. Many of us conservatives already knew this, but for those who haven't gotten that yet, them going against the message of saving children from being hurt and harmed in that way. That should tell you something. I mean, there's other things I want to say in this, but honestly don't know if I should. But, there was something I do need to talk about. As many people have heard, there was a video that came out of a woman that said that she went to, I believe it was a AMC theater. I think she said in California or something. I can't remember for sure. But anyway, she went to a theater with her friends. They pre-purchased the tickets, but they gave the tickets and the money back to her, and they gave absolutely no explanation. Well, she goes to the theater and she asks what's going on. They told her there was no air conditioning in that theater, but her and her friends decided to go see it anyway. But what she noticed was that there was air conditioning all throughout the rest of the building, except for that one room that she knew of. Well, one of my church members went to try to go see the movie at a local theater. It wasn't an AMC theater or anything like that, but it was a local theater. She tried to go with her husband to go see the movie. I believe it was last Thursday. They saw that the showing said that they were supposed to show the movie that night. And she goes there, and they told her that they weren't actually showing the movie until the next day. Well, she came to find out that they still showed Sound of Freedom that Thursday night when she planned to go see it. So they lied to her. See the pattern here? Sabotage, for sure. And for us, rain, snow, shine, whatever, we have got to support the message of the movie some way, either by purchasing tickets and actually going to see it, or you can just purchase the tickets for other people to see, or go to Operation Underground Railroad and support them financially, or become a speaker or something. But we all have to do something. Spreading awareness is a very good start, but we should not stop there. We should not stop there. Let's not make this a hype. Let's not, this is, okay, now I remember what I was going to say earlier. Let's not go through the motions on this subject. Let's not do that. We got to keep talking about it. We got to do something. We got to do more, because, again, if we just sit and do nothing, more children are going to get taken. More children are going to get hurt. And I truthfully believe that there are people trying to push an agenda to make legalization of you know what against children legal. I believe that's their end goal, the slippery slope. And we cannot let that happen. We can't. Now, I also seen, watching reviews of the movie, I've seen many people point out, Sound of Freedom isn't exactly a religious movie. But the thing is, why should that matter? Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel make it quite clear that, they believe in God. But why should that stop people from seeing the movie? Are you really going to say, I'm not going to support the message of helping children get sex trafficking because, hey, it's a Christian movie? Are you really that hard-hearted of a person to be that way? Why should it matter if it has Christian elements in it or not? Why should that matter, people? If you have any morality in you, You should say, you know what? Even if it does talk about God, I'm not gonna allow myself be offended stop me from supporting something that's helping kids. I mean, as a Christian, for me, the message is more. I mean, even if it didn't talk, even if it didn't talk about Christ, you know, I have to still support the message. Now, listen. I think it'd be totally wrong if they just chose to completely keep God out of that situation just to appease other people. That's totally wrong. I mean, God's name should never be taken out because of that. But the thing is, I believe God is using that movie to show people. I believe He is using it to expose, what's going on. And I'm not gonna say, well, I'm too offended because it don't, because it don't. I'm not gonna be like that. Whether it has Christian elements or not, that should not stop you from at least looking into, what's going on. It shouldn't stop you from trying to support the movie or support the group, Operation Underground Railroad. It shouldn't stop you from doing that. We've got to get out of this bubble of, I'm offended for... Come on. Let's stop acting like children here. It's not about us. It's not about our personal feelings. For us Christians, most importantly, it's about doing what God wants us to do, and He's telling the church, go save those children. I'm very ashamed that churches right now many churches right now are not even talking about the movie to their congregation. They're not saying nothing. We're already failing God because a lot of churches, we don't want to talk about that. That's too sensitive a subject. I don't give a rip. Listen to a woman who was raped as a child. I don't give a rip. If you think it's too hard of a subject, you talk to your church about it. You tell them, go either go see the movie or purchase tickets for other people to see the movie, or go to the website of Operation Underground Railroad and do something. I don't give a rip if you think it's too hard of a subject for you to handle. It's not about you. It ain't about you. God is urging us to help those children. He's saying to us, you do something. You are responsible for these children. You do something. It's time for you to protect them. It's time for you to save them. If you don't, I will. And you guys will pay for it if you don't do anything about it. In the book of Isaiah and other prophets, many times God said to the children of Israel, when He's punished them, many times He said to them repeatedly, because they failed to protect the orphans. They failed to protect the widows. They failed to protect the orphans over and over and over again. That's mentioned in the book of prophets. Why? Because children are important. God tells us to protect children. He teaches us to not raise them in strife or anger. I'm trying to remember how it's worded, but He tells us to protect them. He tells us to teach them in the right way. He tells us to care about orphans. He tells us to protect and to help the weakest of these, which are children. Many times, God talks about the importance of children. And yet, for us, we have failed God and we have failed children for years. Because, but, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. I mean, let somebody else, take care of this. I don't want to think about that. I just won't do anything and just hope that, the situation take care of itself. No! No! No more of that. No more of that from any of us, especially of us who say that we belong to Christ. No more of that. And if you're a person that's not Christian, we've got to save the kids. I don't care if you are part of the LGBT community, if you're straight, or you're Muslim, or atheist, or whatever. All of us have got to do something to help the kids. Every one of us. But for those of us who say we believe in God, we've got to do God's will. Because if we don't, what example are we being to people who are not in Christ? What are we telling them? So I'm saying to every single church in America right now, you get off your butt, you tell your congregation about this movie, tell them about the Operation Underground Railroad. I don't care if they get offended. If they walk out of church, let them walk. Let them walk. Let them be cowards. But you don't act like a daggone coward because you're too scared or you're too offended or whatever by the truth of what's going on. Let your freaking congregation hate you. Let them demean you if they're gonna be that stupid. Let them do it, but do not choose to do nothing. Do not disrespect those children. Do not dishonor those children by being silent, and do not dishonor our God by being silent. Do something. Don't sit there and do nothing. I don't care if it's a sensitive subject. The truth has to be spoken. You honestly think Isaiah and others, you think they gave a rip what people thought when they talked about hard stuff? No. Because the truth is always more important than people's offended feelings. And if you really feel that your congregation is going to care more about being offended than the message of saving children, then there's something wrong with your congregation. And you need to fix that. You need to try to fix that. All pastors of every single church has to speak about this. Talk to your congregation about it. Again, if they get offended, let them be freaking offended.